This is Robert Wolf reporting from the center of the Mopar world for August of 2022, the Mopar Nationals in Columbus, Ohio. I'm so excited to be back in Ohio for the 41st running of the Mopar show that started it all. Back in 2020, the Mopar Nats was canceled due to the local COVID restrictions, but for 2021, the masses flocked back for the 40th running of this show. For 2022, I was curious whether or not that level of excitement would continue, or would we see the crowd start to taper off after that milestone. This is Scott Lindsay, and Scott always brings the most unique cars to wherever he goes, and we look for him first for having the rarest colors, the most bizarre combos on options. And Scott, tell me a little bit about this one.
Well, I first heard about this car in 2010 here at the Nats, actually.
Right.
I had brought the Bahama Yellow 71 Hemi GTX sunroof car.
Right.
That you had so graciously dubbed the find of the decade.
Okay.
And a guy told me about this car because he knew I had a Petty Blue 71 Roadrunner. And I committed it to memory, thinking, you know, I'd like to talk to him some more later. And it kind of got forgot about. But he told me he knew about the car out of Washington. And then years go by and I hadn't thought about it. And I was actually on my way to Pennsylvania to get some Mopar memorabilia, and a guy calls me from Washington and says he's going to look at this car, and he's not sure if he's going to buy it, but if he doesn't buy it, would I be interested? And I said, well, sure. So that's how that all happened. He knew the owner, who was the second owner. The second owner had bought this in '99 from the original owner. It sold new from Northwest Chrysler Plymouth in Seattle, Washington. I knew that it was rare. Wasn't really sure how rare, but since I've owned the car, I've talked to every guy I can think of that's been in the hobby forever and ever and ever, and I've asked them straight out, have you ever heard of another 70 Plymouth or Dodge in Petty Blue that wasn't a Superbird?
Right.
And a lot of people are shocked that they never even realized it, you know? They're like, well, gosh, no, I guess I don't. And so far, I'm still on par that I haven't talked to anybody that's actually even said they've even heard of another one.
Well, there's a challenge to everybody out there. If you know of another Petty Blue 70,
it's a challenge for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm not insinuating that there isn't one.
Right.
But when guys have been in the hobby 40 plus years and been to every major Mopar show in the country, they can't even say they've heard of one. That's probably not too many of them that can be found. And being a Roadrunner and not like some four-door or something, that's just icing on the cake. And then of course the Survivor paint, you know, second owner car. I mean, here we are 52 years later.
Yes,
and it's only got two owners, two legal owners.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Well, now what I understand though is it's going to have another legal owner, because what you've done this weekend is you've traded it for this car next door, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So this is Greg's car, and he's had this for sale for a while, and it's really, really cool.
Yeah, the analogy we were using earlier is I just got on the merry-go-round with the big boys.
So tell me about this one you just bought.
Well,
six-pack convertible, obviously.
It's a six-pack convertible. I actually saw this car for the first time when I was about 22 years old. I sold a T8 Challenger to a guy in Albuquerque, New Mexico named Ernie Blumenthal, who had been in a wheelchair since he was a teenager from a car wreck.
Right.
And Ernie had told me about a 70 Hemi Roadrunner convertible he had bought in Tucumcari, New Mexico in late 80s, early 70s, and I want to know who bought it.
Right.
So he put me in contact with Dave Blake. And I was only like 22 years old. I'd never heard of Dave Blake.
Right.
And that was before Mopar magazines. And I called Dave and I asked him about his car. And I said, I wanted to come see it. And he said, well, you know, it's not for sale. And I said, well, I don't care. I just want to come see it. He's like, why do you want to come see it? I said, well, I've never seen one. I want to say I've seen one. So I get to go out to Dave's, and he treats me great, puts me up at his house and everything, and takes me, gives me the keys to his trailers when I showed up at his shop. He's like, I'm busy right now. He gave me this big ring of keys and said, go unlock these doors on these trailers.
Well, what most people don't know is it's not trailers, it's containers, and they're stacked up in the desert, and every one of them has a badass
Well, these are like reefer trailers that had the wheels taken off of them. So what you don't know is you're in the Arizona desert, and you open the door on a reefer trailer, and it's like 20 degrees cooler inside that trailer.
Right.
Well, that's when I first saw this car. He had it sitting outside, and he had corrugated sheet tin wired to the car to protect it. And I took pictures of it. I was like 22 years old. I'd never seen anything like it. And I was blown away. And I told Dave, several years ago at the Mopar in the Mopars at the Strip. He was coming out of the restaurant at the cannery. He said, "Dave, I don't know if I ever told you this, but I wanted you to know that you are single-handedly responsible for effing my life up." Because at the age of 22, I saw all these Hemi Cuda convertibles, all these Challengers. I said, all the way home, all I could think about was, I'm going to hustle my ass off and do anything I got to do to get myself in a Hemi Cuda convertible.
Right.
Well, of course, anybody that knows these cars in the history knows that they were going up exponentially.
Right.
So every time I'd start to get close to one, they took another jump.
Right.
Well, here I am, what, 37 years later?
Right.
And I'm just now getting on the merry-go-round with the big boy.
So what Scott did is he traded the blue car here for a down payment deposit. That's how you get one of these, right?
It's old, but it is the original. You stole it. I know it. If I'd have known that in '88, you'd have took ass with it. I didn't get it for about 10 years ago. Yeah. You're around there looking at Butch's car. Nice. That's great, man. Hey, Bill, he stole this shit, these things, and he cashed it in. Well, yeah, he stole it. And he said, I'll tell you what, Jim Pancake's got another one. Jim Pancake's got another one. I told you yesterday, I signed it, it's worth $1,000. Look, I'll get $250. All right, but it won't be sold. Well, I'm not going to sign it, but not going to be sold. Here, I'll put my name.
Is that check still good?
Yeah.
Look, he had it forward up and
He was there when I done it.
oh, he was there.
You were? You let him steal it?
I wasn't there when he did.
Yes, you was. With Jim and Gil, all of us went there. You and Danny was there.
I was?
Oh, yeah. Don't tell me you wasn't.
Because when the rock shop closed, me and Bruce already left.
Yeah, but this
Boy, they sure paid a lot back then, didn't they?
No shit, yeah, they did. I tried to call you. I don't have any because I'm still looking.
we're fine.
Okay.
Didn't they though pay a lot? It's signed, now you cash it.
Yeah, but they may not have any money in the bank. Not-profit organization.
There you go. Thank you.
That's great. That's nice.
That is funny right there.
Again, Coop, you carved that out of a block of foam?
Made a foam block out of it. Carved it out of foam and covered it with fiberglass, and then cut all the foam out of the inside.
And what made you decide to do this?
A100
fanatic.
I'm an A100 guy.
Yeah, you're pretty crazy.
It had to be a van. I wasn't going to build a car.
Right. It's on a golf cart chassis, or what is it?
It's a golf cart, yeah. It's an old Yamaha golf cart that I picked up from a friend. And tore it all completely apart. There's nothing but a frame and a seat. And then figured out how to put a body on it.
That's awesome.
It was all kind of hit and miss there.
All right, so this is Mickey and Michelle, and when we come to a show, we're always looking for the guys that have the best food, and you guys have outdone it here. Now, they're not selling any of this stuff. This is just for fun, right?
This is it.
Okay.
This is our group of people. We come here every year. This is like the 5th year that I did this. We did it, and it's all you can eat before. We're having a good time, enjoying the races.
So tell me what you got cooked here.
Well, we got pulled pork, hot sausage, sloppy joes, barbecue kibasi. We have meatballs and sauce. We have regular sausage, chicken, and green beans, potatoes, and bacon.
So there's no slacking here. You got a full spread.
Yeah, and then we got she's made all the desserts over here.
So do you guys do this for a living, or you do this for fun?
This is it.
This is it.
Just for fun.
Well, that's fantastic, guys. Good job.
Thank you.
All right, ran into Doug here, who has a rather unusual vehicle. This is built on a Dakota frame, correct?
Dakota chassis, yep. Firewall and floor.
Okay, so what year was the truck?
The truck was a 99 Dakota RT, extended cab.
Now, how hard was it to make it up? Did you have to cut the frame? Or did
I shortened the chassis like 16 inches.
Right.
Just so I could center with the wheelbase center. And then the firewall and floor and the drivetrain, I moved back 8 inches. So I narrowed the floor and cut the firewall about to here.
Right.
So it could mate up with the lip on the other cab, on the 46 cab. And I just grafted it all together.
So this was a Mobile truck,
Yeah.
and that was the factory bed, or the, not factory, but the add-on bed that they used back then?
Yep, that was the bed they added on the Bell company, or the Bell system company.
Well, that's pretty cool. And then you changed the front end on this thing, right?
Because the front of this originally had that big sexy front end with the smooth big fenders.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get rid of it because it didn't match the roughness of the rear. So a guy in Dayton, Ohio, actually, I traded a Pilot House Dodge parts for. His name is Dave Thomas, and he traded me a bunch of parts for the front end for this Power Wagon.
Cool, beautiful piece, man. We love it.
Thank you.
All right, so probably the most photographed car at this show is a barn fresh 69.5 six-pack Super B. Where'd you get this thing from?
Chillicothe, Ohio.
All right, and you happened upon it, or it found you, or what happened?
My brother found it via the grapevine. It had been legend about the car for years and years, and the car could never be found. And finally, via the grapevine, through a buddy of his, we found the car.
And how complete is it?
It's totally complete. All original drivetrain, everything.
You got the six-pack still on it?
Breather, everything.
Really?
Everything. It's all car.
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
Guy plainly said he put headers, mag wheels on it. Other than that, it's all numbers, fender tag, build sheet. Got parked in 78 because he pointed out and lost his license.
Did you have the front end sticking out of the garage, or what?
No, like I said, we got Kyle had, remember this car was on the dealership brand new. They had two of them. The other one was a hard top, this was a vinyl.
Right.
The rumors about this one were on the east end of town in a building beside a house, but we could never get any further.
Right.
And then finally a buddy of mine's dad, who was a Mopar guy, had told the legend of it, and the guy was ending up moving to California and had a garage sale. And a husband and wife stopped, and he had one Mopar he was taking. And he got talking about this car, and the guy said, well, I know that guy. So then the name was known. I tracked him down. I called him for about 5 years. The guy ended up passing away, and I bought it from the family.
So the moral of that story is never give up looking, right? They're out there, right?
Never give up.
53 years from when it was done.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Beautiful piece. I'm here with a man that needs no introduction, Butch Leal, world famous drag racer. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Here at the Nats this year, what do you think about the show?
Nice show yesterday. It's a little overcast today, but it was really nice yesterday, do you think?
There's nothing wrong with that. Overcast is nice.
Unbelievable.
So behind us here, we've got your 65 Cheetah car, correct?
Correct.
Tell us the story on this thing.
Well, I happened to win Indy in 65. I've had 4 of these cars.
Right.
So this car particularly, I won Indy and with the N65, so we started running Pro Stop.
Right.
Well, they were putting so much weight on the Hemi, and after 73, Chrysler just pulled out of Pro Stop, and they wanted myself, Soxon Martin, and Landy to build the 8B and the D car and super stock cars. We did. And I actually found this car in San Francisco. I'm from California, of course, but I found this car in San Francisco, and I knew about it. It was an automatic car, and I bought this thing for $2,500.
Did you?
Yeah, no engine and transmission, but because I was a 4-speed man.
Right.
And Ron Butler built the car.
Okay.
So you could see, I made it just like my Pro Stock car.
Okay.
Just legal, and I put the cage in it. It's just like I had in a Pro Stock car. It's a great story. I'm working hard. You know how hard it is to build these things.
Right.
And I get paid at it. No, it's not letter. Well, did I get a call? Come to Irwindale. We got a test Wednesday before Pomona. I bring it out, and I've been up 2 days and nights working on it. I put about 10 pounds of air in the tire and run the engine in the first lap. Well, it goes. The record I think then was a 1040. And it went 1013, and I spun the tires all the way through low gear, which I didn't, it didn't matter. Well, Dave Cole was like, he took care of me at Chrysler, and he comes up, him and Hoover, Tom Hoover, and he said, you need to do something with the chassis. And I said, go get back in the town. Well, Sox's A car runs 986. So I come back. I actually had wheelie bars running. They were illegal, but I had them on.
Right.
So I let the air down, and the thing left. The front was about that high, and it ran, I think, 169 and 142. They meet me at the scales. Wait 34.30. He said, put it in the truck, hide it. So the thing was, I was just talking to some fellows here, and they have their super stock drivers. And, you know, I was pretty good at pro stock driver. That was okay, but super stock guys are very, very good. They're great drivers. They just knock a tree down all the time.
Yeah. Now this car is actually, when you built it, it's kind of chopped and channeled, and you didn't. It's a stock roof liner.
No, it's a stocker.
Okay, aluminum dash.
No,
I've always heard that you had aluminum dash in these cars.
Yeah, well, my first 65 car, I think they made 4 dashes, and I put one in that original car.
Okay.
And this in somebody's garage hanging up now, they told me.
Okay.
That's pretty cool. I mean, I was big. But they're all acid dip front ends.
Right.
My doors are acid dip. Got half glass. I know you noticed that. Look. Okay, that's glass.
Okay.
It's not fiberglass.
Okay.
It's glass, but it's half thickness.
So was this your favorite super stocker to run here?
Pardon me?
Is this your favorite super stocker? What was your favorite car?
Oh yeah. Without a doubt.
Yeah.
While I was runner up here, Chrysler had England somewhere. They had a transmission built for me. They wanted me to run it. So I put it in here. I get to the final. I never forget running Bobby Rules. It's hot. Nobody can even run under.
Right.
It's like I could go a mile under.
Right.
And I got him beat. I hit a good light and it broke low gear cluster. Oh man, I was so mad. Oh, you don't know how mad I was. So I pushed it around. I went right in here and loaded up, pushed it up on the ramp, pulled it out. I grabbed that transmission. I threw it about 20 feet out of that there, and got my Doug Nash, put it in, got it all ready to run. And Coble looked at me and said, "You gonna pick up that transmission?" I said, "No." Hell no.
You left it
I remember that. He's the one who wanted me to put it in, and it'll cost me a race.
Yeah.
And, but I tell you what's good. The next race was Englishtown. Okay. So I went, there you go. And I come right out of the chute. HRA, let's talk about that. That was the next place you wanted to go.
Right.
And I won the race. I needed a car in the final. Won that. Won the Hot Rod magazine. I thought, well, I can't get it beat. Well,
For 2022, the weather would not be a factor. The Nats patrons enjoyed near picture-perfect days. But I do believe nationwide inflation has taken a bite out of the overall attendance of this show. With high gas, grocery, utilities, and just about everything else prices, by the time we got to summer of 2022, people were being forced to make a choice of where to spend their disposable income. I believe that showed up here as a noticeable lack of traffic in the aisles all weekend long. With that being said, I believe it's Dodge's roadkill nights in the nearby Pontiac, Michigan area on the same weekend that is a real drag on this show's momentum. Not necessarily on the show car side of things, but rather making for a smaller drag racing car event. Until these two shows are somehow separated off of the same weekend, I don't know how the Mopar Nats gets back to growing again. With that being said, the Mopar Nats is still an integral cog in the Mopar show circuit, now more than ever drawing some of the hottest Mopars from the central Midwest area. Maybe with the high cost of low living we all find ourselves in today, Mopar shows like the Nats will begin to take on more of a regional look. As far as the Mopar Nats is concerned, the one thing that I've learned over the years is never underestimate the momentum of being the original Mopar show. The Mopar Nats is still the show that every other Mopar show is looking to become. As far as the most significant Mopar from this show, I think it would have to be Butch Leal's 65 Plymouth that I featured earlier in this video. As for my choice for best of show, it was this New Yorker wagon. When it came to modern motivated, I really liked Don Bale's Dart. Been great, and you?
Good. Magazine doing well?
Wonderful. So this is the newest one, huh?
Yeah.
Tell me about it. What you got in it?
Well, it's 426 Gen 3 with a Whipple supercharger, 3 1/4 supercharger on it. Bischoff Engine Service built that for me.
Right.
727 torque flight with an Allison A&A transmission.
Okay.
Mosier 9-inch Ford rear end. Put 308 gears in it so I can drive it on the highway.
Mm-hmm.
And 961 horse.
And the chassis was done by?
Mike Roth.
He does all your stuff, doesn't he?
MR2 Performance.
Yep.
The paint and body and assembly was Jimmy Boydnott. Boydnott Custom Paint and Body in Fairfield, Ohio. And Dave Atkins Upholstery in Miamitown, Ohio, did the upholstery. And it was a lot of fun. It was a labor of love, about a 10-year project.
How do you like the supercharger on it?
I love it. I love it. It's very responsive.
Is it?
I actually get pretty good fuel miles. If I'm not too stupid with the throttle, I get maybe 14 mile gallon.
It's not too bad. So.
But it's anyway, it's got a 4-link in it. Mosier Engineering 41 spline axles, 4-wheel disc brakes all the way around. I also have air conditioning and power steering on it. Wildwood brakes.
Love it, man.
Thanks.
This DeSoto Pro Mod gets my nod for the best race car and best rat rod from this year's show. If you like this video, please smash the like button. And if you want to see more like this one, hit the subscribe to Mopar TV button. It's absolutely free. That's a wrap from the Mopar Nationals. And until next month, I'll see you on the pages of MCG.